We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another edition of the Parents Lounge. We had a great one tonight, super fun. Our pal Justin Rupple's here. I'm Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowan, as always. Gentlemen, it is hot in this country today. It's very Nelly. It's getting hot up in here. Did you guys take off all your clothes?
I haven't worn pants on this show in months.
He's pooing it.
He is pooing it. That's so
here we go again. I've forgotten my pants.
Winnie the Pooh stuck in the honey jar. Forgot his pants again.
Thanks for noticing my junk. That's my Eeyore. There you go.
That's good Eeyore. Yeah. That's nothing. Where's Piglet?
I can't do it.
I've never done Piglet. That sounded bad.
My friend was really Piglet, Travis Oates from Acme Comedy Theater. He got the gig when Piglet passed away at some point. And
yeah, what was the guy's name that did it?
Thanks for making us sad.
Well, listen, Piglet dies, but now they don't even have to recast a new actor. They're just going to AI it, and they'll just go, "Hey, we just say every syllable, every letter in the alphabet, and we're good, brother. We only need you for like 20 minutes nowadays, and we'll do the rest in post."
The AI me is so good right now that like if he could host the show, to be quite honest.
Can we hear it? Can we really quick?
I don't have a recent pull from. Let me see if I still have the other ones.
I have my AI me, and here's the thing. It doesn't sound quite. It's me if I had no emotion whatsoever. Like you would have to kind of like, you'd have to tell my AI to be like, and now go up and then change it and then because I'm very Goldblum-y with my change of inflection.
But that's because it's new. It's learning you. Oh, it'll get you.
I got it.
It's inevitable. Like,
yeah.
I love when people are like, well, it can't mimic human emotion. Yeah, it can, because at the end of the day, human emotion is zeros and ones, just like everything else.
Absolutely.
And it can be totally replicated in someone's demeanor. The same way you can do a great impression of somebody, and you pick out the certain pieces.
AI will do it better for sure.
For sure.
But here's
it's already doing better than I ever did at life.
Well, see, but that's what I'm saying is that's the problem that AI has is it's too perfect. We don't like perfect. We want the mess ups. Like you want the part in No Shelter in Rolling Stones song Give Me Shelter where she goes like the part of her voice like cracked out, and the story behind it and everything. You want the whole backstory behind the error and why they kept it in, and AI is perfect.
Well, it's like Saturday Night Live when people break. Like people used to give Fallon grief for breaking all the time, but a lot of people, you're looking for someone to break in a show. But why can't AI learn, all right, every ninth laugh, every ninth joke I tell, I break.
Because we know there's no consequence.
It's gonna
no, it's not about a Turing test. It's about consequences. Human beings like to see consequences, right? So, like, I'll give you an example. You guys remember when video games first came out and we were really excited to play like Gran Turismo? Remember when like PlayStation came out and you had, and you could play your friends, but you could play the computer, and the computer was good, like really good. It would take you months and months and months and months and months to get good enough at saving and saving to keep leveling up to finally barely edge out the computer, right?
Right.
If the computer can beat you every time guaranteed, then we stop playing. We want there to be an error. And so if all of a sudden you go, all right, well, the AI can make it look like it's not happening. They can fake the fallacies or the insecurities of humans. We can make them believe that.
Sure.
But we're like, yeah, but the second we know that you've already paid, you've fired the real people and that it is an AI, then we know that there's no consequence. Meaning if we don't like the AI, no one's getting fired. No one's losing their job. The AI just adapts. Humans want you to bleed a little bit. That's the Coliseum.
They do now. I think you'll get used to it. I think people will change, and eventually, the same way my kid is upstairs right now watching that crazy girl watch videos and comment on them.
But there's still two people creating it.
That's
True. But who knows? Maybe she's reading the Chat GPT. I don't know. I mean, I just think this is so early on in. It's like AI has just been born, and everyone's like, "Well, I can't do this." No, not yet. It can't. But
no. I'm one of those people who thinks it can do more. I think it can do more. But what I'm saying is, there is so many sects of the world that it's going to improve. But entertainment, it'll still improve entertainment, but it's not going to make us gone, because what we will represent, the entertainers, is we can go crazy, we can succeed, we can fail, we can have children, we can do all that other stuff that AI won't have consequences. It can't die, it can't lose its job, it can't feel the things that they can see in us. So it's already better than us, guaranteed.
In the same way that we as humans, you get force-fed a certain type of, hey, Joey Steelers, what's up, brother? You get force-fed a certain amount of entertainment, and you become accustomed to it.
Right.
In the same way, like boy bands or whatever, where it's like, they weren't like five dudes who lived together in a school and were like, hey, we should form a band. It was a rich dude from Florida who's like, hey, I'm having auditions. I need 5 guys. Justin Timberlake and the other 4. Boom, we got a band. Sorry, other 4, but yes. And they're singing songs that arguably could have been written pretty easily by AI, and 1 billion women still to this day go see those bands to remember their child, because that's the music they listen to in the child. I just think we're creatures of habit. And
absolutely,
when at the top who are making the money show you the habit that they want you to take in, I mean, it's like
you are so right. We as people who create stuff, the only thing we have going for is what we create, the face that we were given, the voice that you have, and so that has to be taken care of. But what I'm saying is going to be good for us is that there's a TikTok and Instagram account called There I Ruined It. Have you guys seen it?
No, but I already love the title. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So what this guy has done, he's an expert of mid journey communication between AI. So he does stuff like he'll play Don't Be Cruel by Elvis Presley, and he'll tell the AI to sing Elvis Presley singing Baby Got Back, but have it done as Don't Be Cruel. So essentially what I would do as a comedian on stage to make an audience laugh, right?
Dude,
stuff I do in my act.
Yeah. Well, that was every impressionist was like, Man, I wonder what would happen if Jerry Seinfeld went back to grammar school.
But here's what I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who aims to do it really well,
sure,
I only watch the first 5 seconds
and go, "Oh, he nailed it,"
and I go, "Oh yeah, that's it."
Yeah.
But me as a human, I want to watch a human try it because I know in my heart, all right, that means they had to put some effort. Okay, so that means sacrifice and time. Sweat equity. They made that decision. I want to see that took them effort. I want to see that is some sort of and the physicalness. That's why we get so excited when we're like, look at him sweat, look at him breathe, look at him cry. We want to see that.
I think
there is a human aspect to that is going to get lost for sure.
I agree. But I will tell you, as far as like comics and impressionists and stuff, we all watch the first 5 seconds and go, nailed it. Then it's the material, and I've seen amazing impressionists who are phenomenal, and they're like really doing the lines from like real movies.
Yeah.
You see those guys and you're like,
yep.
No, you still have to write a joke. You can't get up and do Christopher Walken speech from True Romance.
Right.
You still have to write a joke. So I would argue the same of like after the first 5 seconds of going, they're great. I go, okay, where's the turn? What's the joke?
Right.
Where are we? And if that's solid, I'm still in.
Right.
And I wonder what turn in for like Christopher Walken reading like War of the Worlds or something like if he just read it beginning to end, like I would be on board for that.
Sure.
Somebody could easily do that.
The argument now is that AI could do that. It's the best of times. It's the War of the Worlds or
Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities.
I said it before.
A Tale of Two Wars of the World. It was the best of times.
It was Cruise. It was a great Cruise film.
It's a far better place I go than I've ever gone before.
Did you see the new mission? Did you see the new Mission Impossible movie?
I haven't seen it yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Don't blow it. Because
I'm not gonna blow it.
Here's the problem with it. I'm just old. I guess I'm old. I really like the Mission Impossibles. Yeah, 2, the John Woo one with the doves. Still, and the Dougray Scott, not great. But then at 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman, they're off and running again.
Sure.
Then Tom Cruise is like, maybe I'm not going to do it. Maybe Renner will do it. They bring Renner in, and then Cruise is like, nah, I'm keeping it. Nah, Jeremy, loved what you did, but it's not working. Go try the Bourne. And then Matt Damon's, no, I still got Bourne, brother. No, you're not taking Bourne either. Renner's like, dude, I had 2 franchises. I got 0. Then it goes on to, by the time they get to Fallout with Henry Cavill and Sean Harris as the bad guy, I am locked. Rebecca Ferguson. Oh, I
want to hear in a couple of weeks your opinion.
I'll go. Let's go again. Here's the problem. I want to see it so badly, but I don't want. It's like my Easter bunny chocolate I got, where I don't eat it. I never eat it on Easter. I would save it and save it and save it, and all of a sudden by October,
the theaters,
it's
though,
like white and crap, and you can't.
Don't wait till October. You need to see it in theaters.
I'm going. In the next day or 2, I'm going to go at like a noon show. But you know what I did yesterday? I Googled what's the best way to see it because I don't
40X.
think it was not shot for IMAX.
No, 40X.
I tried Top Gun with the moving seats and the mist and the shot in the face. Didn't love it. And so I'm going to go an empty theater, huge, and just lose it.
You didn't like the shot in the face with the water and the spritz and you didn't like the 40X?
I didn't love 40X. I saw.
Do you typically, or was it just that movie?
It's
just
like a roller coaster.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be.
I hated it. It was really jerky. Even like Tom Cruise.
He's going to start yelling for the kids to get off his lawn anytime.
No, I wanted to go.
I loved it. I saw it. Let me tell you, I saw it first in an IMAX, and I was like, yes. And then I said to my partners, I go, I've seen it again in 40X, and I saw it twice more in 40X.
I actually got out of the chair and I sat in the aisle for a while and watched it.
Oh, you old! You're old, James.
No. All right, here's where it got me. He's over 40X, dude. It's garbage. So here's what happens. They don't. it doesn't follow. Like the plane's going up, but the chair can only go up so much. So the chair would go up and then down and then up and then down, trying to keep it up. And even like at one point, I think Tom Cruise is like talking to Jennifer Connelly in the bar, and he goes, "Well, I gotta leave," and he turns, and the chair went to turn, and I was like, "Hey, man, I don't need every movement in the movie to go with it." So I did not love 40X.
Okay, well, I thought it was wonderful. I saw Superman in 40X, Man of Steel.
I saw Jurassic World in that way.
And you guys like it?
Me too.
You guys
I
like
love it. Oh, I love it. Absolutely. But Jamie, I enjoy fungi and plants that vaporize. So that's when I go to films, that's I mean,
you like the film to be aided and abetted by certain activities. And yes, I am, dude. Listen, I love when people they go, I don't like pot. And you're like, well, apparently you don't like movies to be funnier and food to taste better. Because I don't know what to tell you. If you like those two things, I got something that you should try.
That's what, like, I only see the stupid action movies with those seats stuff. You know, it's not like I'm seeing like
you don't
Pride and Prejudice. Definitely, we don't think that this is full.
Hey, for those who are just tuning in, you're right. This is the Parents Lounge, and we have kids, and we talk a lot about kids, but we also realize that sometimes parents don't really just want to talk about kids; they want to talk about everything else. And Justin Rupple doesn't even have children, but he's our new stalwart in this thing, and he's doing our live show. We're going to be in Sayre Theater in October, doing the 3-way.
What's the city again? What official city?
Sayre, Pennsylvania.
Sayre, Pennsylvania. And Justin's going to be part of the parents. He's coming as the Parents Lounge. But here's the beauty of Justin. He doesn't have any kids, but he's got an extra wife, which I think makes up for it.
It's its own fun challenge.
It's so great that Thruple rhymes with your last name, Rupple.
I know, buddy. I know, it's so perfect. And you know, it's
actually,
really
I was going
fun.
to ask you. I don't even know. Is this going out to your page? Do we want to approach any of your people, or no? Or we're just on parenting people?
Oh, you can.
We forgot to add it, so we did not broadcast to Justin's page.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
We should. We should.
That was a bad maneuver, but so it goes.
Maneuver,
yes, people are going to have to come over to the Parents Lounge.
Well, you want to know something really cool? This is. I'm sorry, I always sound a little bit like Goldblum. Something very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's two wives in 4DX. That's funny.
Do your wives like 40X?
Oh yes, they thought it was more fun. They're like me. They're silly gooses.
Well, you can already tell that they like more. The more, the merrier for those two.
There you go.
I wanted to be in a throuple just so that we had a second pair of hands to drive in this house. That would be really helpful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, two of us don't drink alcohol, so it makes it very easy to get to and from places.
Yeah, it's always good. I mean, you're super high. I'm not sure you're supposed to drive super high, but
but Jamie, here's the problem. You know this as truth. People who smoke a lot of weed don't get high anymore.
Oh, that's true. That's true. They're just always
like I could pass a sobriety walking test like it's no problem. That's the issue.
I get you.
On a secondary note, I was at Starbucks in Universal City yesterday.
Yes.
And I walked in, and the guy behind the counter goes, "Hey, are you on a podcast with Jamie Kaler and Jason?" And I was like, "Hey, Jason Groman?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, why?" And he said, "Because I've been watching it." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I know you from the Parents Lounge." His name is Brett. If he's listening right now.
His name is Brett?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Brett.
The guy who he's a musician, works mornings because he has discipline that I lack, but says he watched and refused to chime in because he was worried that he would blow my cover that I go get coffee at that particular Starbucks.
Oh, I get that a lot. I guess we should talk about kids a little bit. I posted something today and maybe we could have here's the great thing about Justin. He gives us opinions of a person who doesn't kowtow to children. He has an honest approach to everything. So my daughter made me a keychain. They make these little melt perler beads, which by the way, she's been using the iron without telling us. at 9. Is that appropriate, everyone out there, that your daughter all of a sudden they have these beads and they put them together and then they
Yeah, I know what those beads are. Oh yeah.
Beads. They melt them with an iron. And I have like there's hundreds of them. They're all over the place. I can't stop them from getting. Oh, actually, here's something.
They melt the back, right?
Yeah. It's like, it looks like this. So she made this, and I mean, it's all she does. And I'm like, hey, could you read a book? And she's like, no, I'm working on my perler beads. And I'm like, oh, that's gonna come in real handy one day. Anyway, so
one day she has to build you a raft out of it, Jamie, and it saves your life.
I mean, maybe.
You just ironed out this whole raft.
She's 9. She's going back east on a trip with my wife. They're going back east next week, and she made a Nintendo Switch with perler beads. I should have brought these in to show you it for her stuffed animal. That's the kind of like quality time she's really using to progress in life. And so
she doesn't want the stuffed animal to get bored, Jamie. That just seems
fake. And I go, hey, could you pick up a book? And she's like, nah, I'm good.
Why does she need a book?
So she made me a keychain, which is arguably a gorgeous keychain. It is a huge, giant hummingbird. They can. Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. It's fantastic. Should it be the only thing she does the entire summer? And she's also made me 57 bracelets. Like there's not a room on my arm to hold all the bracelets. She goes, Daddy, I made you another bracelet. I go, great. Good. So the question to me, and the keychain is so large, a hummingbird, which is amazing, by the way. It doesn't fit in my pocket. So I have, like, when she goes, hey, you got your keychain? I go, I do. So I can't put my keys in my pocket. I walk around with my keys in my hand because I can't. The keychain won't fit in my pocket. So my question is, how far do we have to go with kids when they give us these crazy things they make? Or can we just be like, look, this isn't, sometimes I go, look, this is not your best work. I'm not taking.
I have seen you say that about their, oh yeah, he's brutal with their artwork. Brutal.
Well, I'm not, listen,
all right.
I'm honest. And I also tell her, I go, listen, I'm not an art appraiser.
Some people say honest. I would use the word brutal very.
Hey, honesty can sometimes be brutal. I don't know art. Okay. So
Jason, how long do you go with a cup that's got a crack or a handle that doesn't work?
So you do walk a fine line with the kids if they've made it for you. So right. I thankfully our 7-year-old forgets that he's done it pretty quickly. So I only have to use them at max a week before they drift off into never happened. I don't know what Hannah's expiration date's going to be on that though, Jamie.
Can you go ahead, Jamie.
I don't know what the expiration date is, but I've got to hang on for as long as I can, I guess. And she checks me every day. She goes, where's your keychain? Do you have it? Do you have a keychain? I go, oh yeah, it's right. No, it's right here. I got it.
Well, let me ask this. Can you ham sandwich the kids? Can you get the keychain? Can you get the keychain and be like, look, hold on, let me see if I can get the look at that's a usable size. That's and then go, no, you know what? See, Daddy can't stick this in his pocket. You know, it'd be a good project getting this the right size to stick in Daddy's pocket.
What did you call it? Ham and cheese it?
A ham sandwich.
What's a ham sandwich? What does this mean?
Ham sandwich is the way you tell someone bad news, right? So it'd be
I've never heard this before.
Oh yeah. So this is what you do, right? You go like someone just bombed, right? Someone just bombed on stage, and you're like, dude, way to stay on time. All right, way to stay on time. You saw the light. You got right off there. Yeah. It was the 9 minutes in between where they weren't laughing. That was the tough part. But you know what? They got you booked again, man. They got you booked again. You're gonna be okay on the second show. So it's good thing, really shitty thing, good thing.
Oh, that's
that's the ham sandwich. So yeah, you're just like, hey, this isn't gonna fit. Or you go, this is beautiful. These colors, this size.
Well, I'm keeping a box of. It's so funny that I like some of the other stuff's not in the room, but I have a box that my wife my wife just texted me. This is insanity. Okay, so this is a real text. Obviously, this just came to me.
So it's a shit sandwich.
My wife goes. This out of rando, no precursor. Just 20 minutes before the show started, I got this rando text out of nowhere. It said, Don't ever throw this towel out. I bought it when I found out I was having a girl. Smiley face. And I was like, Kay, where was it? I had no idea. I haven't seen the towel in so many years. But somewhere in her brain, she was like, he's going to throw this towel out.
Had you considered throwing the towel out?
Yeah, I had actually. It's pretty easy. I mean, honestly, if I'd have found that towel, I would have thrown it out in a heartbeat.
So let me see if I get this right. Your premise building here was, look at this crazy crap. Who would do this? I mean, only if they live with somebody who would do such a thing, which I would do. Anyway.
Dude, obviously for comedic purposes, I jumped, I went yes and. But no, I don't think I would have thrown it out. I would have, listen, Justin, I don't have to tell you this. You have 2 wives, not one. So when I don't throw anything out without approval.
No. Not only do I not throw things out, this is straight up they're not going to see this, so that it's okay that I can say this.
Oh, my wife's never going to see this either. She doesn't even know what I'm doing. Like, she would just walk through. She had no idea what I'm doing.
She didn't even know who I was till a year ago.
No, she still doesn't know you. No.
We have a second bedroom that started out as my green screen studio. And in fairness, when we all moved in together, I was using it very much at the beginning. I was using the studio a lot. And then over time, I wasn't using it as much. So it started being filled up with Claire's Poshmark stuff. The stuff she's selling at Poshmark. It is now where a guest closet in a Holiday Inn has 12 times the amount of space I have for my clothes. And I went in the other day and I was like, I couldn't get to my closet at the very back of the room. And then B, once I got there, I couldn't organize the clothes. And I walked out. And to your point, Jamie, I said, I'm going to have to give away some clothes. And they went, oh, really? And I said, yeah, because we're not giving up any more of this space, right? Because I went and I was like, is any, and they just immediately looked and went, yeah, none of that can go. None of it.
My wife has it. So there was a stuffed animal in my kid's room. That was my wife's when she was a kid, which was a few years ago. And it's got holes in it, and it is coughing out stuffing from the 80s. That is, it's probably asbestos. I don't know. I don't know what it's probably a mixture of mercury,
iron ore,
and iron ore. Like, there's uranium in there. I don't know. And I'm like, Kate, this has got to go. She goes, I can't let that go. I go, Kate. She would probably take it to somebody to sew it for like $200 to save it. Yeah. So she one time was like, she was like, you threw my jeans out, didn't you? I go, what are you talking about? She goes, I had a box of jeans in the garage. You threw them out, didn't you? And I go, yeah, I just wander around and I take boxes of new jeans. That's how I roll. By the way, it's like our garage is already. It's like Silence of the Lambs when she goes into the storage locker and there's a car and a head and a jar and it's chock full of armoires and weird trunks that shouldn't be opened. And
Max lives out there.
And she told me, and she goes, she was convinced. She goes, I can't find it. I know you threw it out. It's a box of my new good jeans. And I go, okay. 45 seconds later, I was like, here's your box of jeans. It was on the top of it. What are you, crazy? Can't get out of it. Like, as a husband, is there any husband out there who's ever thrown out anything of his wife's? Or here's the other thing with kids. You can't throw out anything with kids involved because you don't know the one, like, it could just be a shoe. And she'd be like, that's the shoe that we drove to the hospital with.
You're forgetting, we're all successfully in relationships. When you go, are there any husbands out there? Yeah, ex-husbands. Ex-husbands are there.
She outlined her hand. 7-year-old Claire, first grade. This is the save. This is like save box number 12. Here's a progress report. It's not even Hannah's actual report card, just her progress report.
Why are you holding on to that one?
Here's a book card. Here's a bookmark she made me that says Daddy Book.
With a penis bird? Yep.
I've been told. Yeah. Wait, what?
That bird was a little phallic.
Dear Daddy.
So that's why you guys have to have a house to keep more room for the.
That's why when you get you don't need a house except for anything except to hold the stuff. Oh, here's my favorite. She says, "Dear Dad, I am so sorry for what I did. I really tried to keep it in, but
next
page.
Yep.
And then she says, Claire said something, and then the thing that holds my brain up straight just popped like a bridge that broke. Please try to understand. But if you don't, it is fine. Hannah."
Wow.
Is that the greatest thing you ever? I love that.
I forgot about that.
I might frame that one. That one's pretty great.
That's really good, you guys. That's good.
That's pretty
cool.
cool.
By the way, I don't know if it'll ever come in handy in a job application, but Claire graduated from kindergarten.
Of course it does. As an employer,
she got a diploma from kindergarten. So yes.
As somebody who's been asked by many temp agencies, which kindergarten did you graduate from?
Yeah, and then they would go, "Oh, that's it wasn't really kindergarten. It was like a junior community kindergarten." And but I did well.
I just kind of had a general degree, general studies, paintings and so forth.
You two commence talking. I'm going to pull out for a second because I'm having internet issues. I'm on the wrong internet. I went to Office Puck for some reason and I've got to fix it. So you two chat. I'll be right back.
Okay. He's not really gone.
He's not actually going. No,
he's not. He's not going anywhere. He's
just.
And
now there we go. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you? Forget old Graybeard.
What's that?
I said, forget old Graybeard.
Old James Gunn. He's.
You can't go on the little vibrating seats. Come on, man. I'm telling you.
That's the least. Honestly, this is one of the least curmudgeon-y weeks he's had in a while.
Least curmudgeon-y?
Yeah, he lives in a Walter Matthau space. He could easily play Mr. Wilson when they inevitably reboot Days. There he is.
Am I getting ripped as Walter Matthau? Hey, can you do Walter Matthau? He's my favorite. Buttermaker.
I can't remember how to do it. It's been a while since I've heard it. He's got that overbite.
He did, yeah. There's an overbite.
That's like 60% of everybody's accent is how far their teeth go over their overbite. You ever notice that?
Have you got me or Jason yet?
No, but
I've had a few friends do me. I've had a few friends do me, but I had a guy do me at my old theater company where he had me nailed, and it kind of hurt my feelings. Like the way he spoke, he was like, "Come on, buddy. Hey, pal. Hey, buddy. Hey, who's my friendly friend? Hey, friendly friend," or something. I was like, "Do I?" And it was like,
here's the worst part is when somebody nails an impression, they get your out words. That's what I call them. The words your out words. Like the words that get you out of a sentence you don't know where to find the right word. So I say, "You know what I mean," a lot, and I shorten it. So if someone does an impression of me, they stutter a little bit and then give cliches and then say, "You know what I mean." So like if I've heard somebody do an impression of me, they'll go, 6 of one, half dozen the other. You know what I mean?
That's a very good impression of you.
Of me doing, yeah. So, and somebody has done it. I'm like, that did hurt a little bit. That, because it's accurate. That's the fun part. And
that's so funny.
But I think there's fun to it if it's if they have gotten really successful off that thing, then you're kind of like, yeah, you should feel. By the way, I can measure someone's successfulness by how easy they are to impersonate. Oh, can you hear me okay?
It's garbled a little bit. I don't know what happened.
Garbled a little bit. Yeah.
Hold on.
It's got a little. It sounds like a machine gun going off. I thought it was my beard. I thought I was
Honestly,
hearing.
it might be the 4X seats.
No, it's the 4X seats. Yeah, actually, I'm waiting for you to spray in my face.
Is it not any better? Hold on.
No, it's popping.
All right, hold on.
What, Jason? Really too far? Too soon?
No, you're good.
I got to get off the show here in a second. I got to go back down to.
We got to let you go anyway. Hey, I want to. You want to tell everyone what you're up to? You got some tour dates coming up. Also, we're all doing the Sarah show. You're coming with us, and it's going to be super fun. And
it's going to be great. I'm really excited about that. If you go to my Instagram or my TikTok at the Rupple, my link tree's got all my dates. We're going to be in Phoenix, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Bellevue, Washington.
I used to live there.
What's that? Miami. Yep. What's that?
I used to live in Bellevue.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You're thinking.
I used to work at. I worked as Chuck E. Cheese at the Bellevue Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God! I know the Bellevue Chuck E. Cheese very well.
Hold, please. Actually,
which is, by the way, very strange for a guy who doesn't have kids. What the guy? That's so crazy when he's like, "Oh yeah, I know Chuck E. Cheese very well. I go there a lot." Justin, you don't have any kids? No, I don't have any kids.
Oh shit, look at that
my
picture.
God!
Oh, Jason.
How have I not seen? If, by the way, if you are listening to this on iTunes, this is the exact reason you need to come see this show.
Screenshotting this.
Oh my God Almighty!
Oh,
What's weird is it doesn't seem like the costume's that big. Like the head almost just looks like it just barely fits.
Mr. Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it's not Chuck E. It's Chuck E.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the last ones that still had like the clunky big animatronic robots before they overhauled the whole like.
So, hey, Justin, from what I understand, Bill Murray's a huge fan of Chuck E. Cheese. He loves going there for lunch a lot, doesn't he?
I love cheese. I love rats. Rats and pizza together. I've been there. Dancing rats and pepperoni. They go.
He's very close to Tom Hanks, who likes baseball, by the way.
Baseball! Baseball, I got girls.
But also, there is a famous story of how Jeff Bridges got kicked out of Chuck E. Cheese for life, which is crazy.
It's been long enough that the NDA has allowed me to speak of such an incident. Look, the dude, myself, or the El Duderano, if you're into the whole, sink cleaner phase. Back in the day, when I was making the pizza pies, you remember the band Fish?
Of course, yeah.
They have a tribute band called Salmon. They had swam their way through town, and let me tell you, they gave me some fun guy. Knock your dick in the dirt. Anyway, I put them on one of the pizzas. Somehow, it went out like that. Long story short, Ted Cruz is a state senator now. So I don't know how that happened.
That happens. It's weird. I thought you got kicked out from being a customer, but you got kicked out from being an employee. I didn't know you worked at Chuck E. Cheese, but that's it's great to see that were you researching a part or something?
The dude has worn many hats, some friends become enemies become friends, that kind of stuff. Okay.
I used to work with him. That's why I actually got fired the same time he did.
I do recall you were in the suit, man. You had the liquid acid. That's what I remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Rupple. Hey, brother. By the way, the Sayre show is going to be the easiest show Jason and I have ever done because I'm just going to sit on the side and go, hey, what would Morgan Freeman say in this situation?
I remember the first time I was out here just below just below the fountain. I thought to myself, this place needs a giant hooded rat. And thank God Jason was right around the corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Rupple, we love you, brother. Check him out, the Rupple, on Instagram and TikTok, and definitely go see him live. Great show. And come if you're in the Pennsylvania area, come see us in Sayre in October. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Get out of here.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, that guy does such good.
You had never seen the Chuck E. Cheese picture?
No.
So the reason I originally loaded that into it was already loaded is because Jarrett Reddick, who we did the show with from Bowling for Soup, is the voice of Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, that's right.
So I was going to show him like that, you know, I had pantomimed his voice during birthday parties.
Here's what's completely insane to me is that you actually worked at a Chuck E. Cheese as Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah.
And yet you still went on in life to have children. Did you not learn your lesson at Chuck E. Cheese that, I mean, kids
She poked a hole in the condom, Jamie. That was not my choice.
That makes a lot. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
because
I chose to suffer at the hand of twin 4.
Has any kid ever behaved properly at a Chuck E. Cheese?
No, something about the very fabric in the carpeting makes them wild animals.
It's like, you know, in Vegas, how they make everything goes through the casino, and then the carpeting in the casino is made to disorient you. So you're not you can't find your way out of the casino. I feel like Chuck E. Cheese has that same gling, 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 gling. There's all kinds of like arcade games, and you walk in those places and there's a euphoria. And I think there's a lot of dopamine happening, and then the children just lose it.
I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a lot of kids' first experience with gambling because they've never had that kind of experience. And all those games are games of chance. And, you know, like with Claire at Jenkinson's amusement park there, she got addicted to the claw machine, right?
Yeah, it was tragic. I'd forgotten about that bit. And thank you for reminding me because I haven't done that. That's going to be on the new set is the Jenkinson's bit. Yeah, that was super fun.
And Ben is right. The tickets, they're like crack to kids, and like
gling, 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 gling. Yeah, and they hold them, and it's like it's tangible. Ben's absolutely true, and it's all designed, man. And the same way that social media has taken almost that premise and made it here on a screen, it's the same. We are such creatures of addiction, I think.
See, and like that particular Chuck E. Cheese is where like. We used to get a lot of sports teams, like Seattle Mariners players would bring their kids in and just spend buckets of cash. And the kids would just freak. I mean, they're losing their minds. It's crazy how fast you get them hooked at that age.
It is crazy how my kid, I mean, even now my kid's up watching an iPad, but because she's, you know, we always are like, all right, you got to do a reading. You got to read for like this much. She just went to swim practice. She's doing swim team. She's doing camp. But at the end of the day, I can't fault her because I do the same, man. I like movies and old TV shows. I've turned into basically, you know, finding a movie that I like and just watching it. It shuts my brain off. And so when I see my kids doing it, I want to be like the father who's like, no, get up and write a story, read a book, you know, spin a pot. But I'm like, I go, dude, I get it. It's been a long day. She's like, I just want to watch TV. I go, I get it. I'm in. Yeah. I don't know.
There are certain places where they just sort of, I don't know, like we're having a little weird thing with Jace right now where he's debating whether or not he wants to play soccer this year. And it's the first time we've ever kind of had him in that space where he's debating an activity because usually he just goes for it. Mm-hmm. And then this year he's like, oh, do I really want to put in the time?
You know, I get that to a degree, but at a certain age, at a young age, a lot of times it's like, my wife sometimes will ask the kids, like she asked Claire, she's like, Claire, do you want to go back east with me? And I'm like, she's not capable of making that decision. She doesn't have the information in her head to make she's just making it off of emotion or whatever. So why are you asking them questions that they they don't know the answer to. I go, just tell her what she's doing.
Do you think that at 7 he shouldn't be making the choice of?
Well, he's already played it, right? He played it 1 year.
This will be his 4th season.
Then yeah, he knows what it's. He knows what it is. If he doesn't want to do it, but I would say if you start it, that's our big thing. Like if you start something, you finish it. Joey says Jason, yes, was writing that after that job you went to. Yeah, he was kind of reiterating what I was saying. That's funny.
Yeah, Melissa bamboozled me. I fell for a well-timed text message. She planned the whole thing.
Please, the Catwoman pops out.
That was the day.
You have no defenses to that, and she knew you. She played you like a mark.
Look, she's clever. She knew the playing field. She had, I would argue that she had people help her formulate exactly how to take out my defenses, and she did just that.
It's the Sting and your Robert Shaw. Like, we love you as a character, but yeah, you got taken to the cleaners, and you just got to live with it, and that's the end of it.
I think people root for me, but I think people, they're accustomed to me losing, and I do lose a lot.
When you post videos about your life, and people like. Here's the problem. Like you and I, everything's a joke and stuff. And I see people who do shows like this or just like posts, and it's like, they're so, I don't know. They seek the misery of it all, and there's no humor to it. But when people kind of learn your situation, even though we make so much fun about the whole thing, I think people are like, wait, I'm sorry, what? What do you have? You have brain lesions and a wife with a stroke?
So like I had somebody yesterday say, but that's not real, right? And I was like, why would I make that up? Like, I literally,
dude, I used to do like 20-minute blocks about being in the Navy. Then people after the show would be like, but you weren't in the Navy, right? No, I just made the whole thing up because I just thought it would be super funny to talk about being in the, like people are crazy. Like, I do think though, there are, what's it? Munchausen by proxy, but people have, like, what's the one with a grief? Maybe it is Munchausen by proxy. But
Stockholm?
No, it's the woman who like they kill the kids because they love the sympathy they get.
Oh yeah. What is that one?
Somebody will tell me that. I root for Mel. No offense, Jason. Hey, listen, we all root for Melissa. I don't know. Maybe we should bring our next guest in and see if he knows anything he can help us with.
You want to set up who it is?
We should. This is a buddy of ours. He started watching the show. He used to do a podcast. We've talked extensively. He also has a nonverbal son. And that's kind of how he and Jason kind of connected a bit. And kind of honestly, it's really why this whole show started and has continued, is because everybody thinks that something that happens to them that's either catastrophic or even hilariously funny or whatever we're the first person it's ever happened to. But there's so many other parents who when you reach out for information, you're like, hey, I'm going through this. There's like 100 other people who go like, no, dude, here's who to call. Here's how to test. Here's what to do. So without further ado, let's bring in our pal, Ben Duff. Ben, hey.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hi. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Doing great. Apologize for the mess. I didn't set up the green screen or anything.
No, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty horrible. And
it is. It's terrible.
For another season,
yeah.
But it's a parenting show, so we
coming on. Because we kind of connected over the last. He's worked with some of the guys in Broken Lizard, and he's done a lot of social media stuff, and we kind of connected that way. But really, he and Jason connected because you both are dealing. Which I never heard the word nonverbal in my life until Jason had. I was like, wait, what? But then all of a sudden, I talked to so many other people how it works, and so I'm going to leave it to you guys to kind of go down that road.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so I think, Jason, your kids are much younger than my son, Brian. Brian's 17. And so we've been at it for a while, my wife and I. And so it's, we didn't know anything about nonverbal or, autism or anything outside of watching Rain Man, that sort of thing, until Brian was diagnosed. And, he was diagnosed around 2. So we've been doing.
So you found out pretty early.
Yeah. We so my wife noticed discrepancies in his speech lack of speech, honestly, around 15 months. So we got him into Early On, which is a program out here in the great state of Michigan, the hand. And so we got into that, and then it just kind of, there was just a lack of progression. It was he wouldn't engage with you. You were kind of just an object in the room. And then then it was like, okay, let's go take him to some doctors. Let's go see it out. And so there's a whole process. You go to like a specialty clinic, called Children's Specialty Clinic. And then you're going to see like a gambit of doctors, and you're going to see a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, developmental pediatrician. They're going to do some tests and all that stuff. And so, you came back with diagnosis of autism, ADHD, some other things. And then, we went full bore into speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy. And then later, with ABA therapy is really crucial. And the earlier you can get kids into ABA, the better. In a previous life, I worked in nonprofits and NGOs and things like that, and mostly on the fundraising side and some of the technology pieces. But we had a big battle here in the state of Michigan a number of years ago to get ABA coverage covered by your state, by basically your insurance. Because it's very expensive. If you got kids going to college and they're smart, have them be a ABA specialist. Get your master's degree. You're probably, I think the base salary in the U.S. is about $175 to start. So
already getting my kids into becoming plumbers, because apparently that's what the real money is.
100%. I mean, don't mean to switch gears, but I just was watching something where it said, the average construction worker or skilled trade is about 51 years old. So they're going to be retiring soon. Yep. And the job replacement for that is for every 100 people retiring in that field, only 12 to 14 are replacing them. So, yeah, I literally today, I forked over $800 to a plumber because I live in a 100-and-some-year-old house, and the basement was flooded.
Also with the heat coming, AC.
Yeah.
You're an AC guy, and they call you, the AC just broke. It's 112 degrees. Oh man, I'm pretty booked. I guess I could charge you triple time and come over right now.
Exactly, man.
And you're like,
yeah, man.
I'm one of those guys. We all are the same. We all go, yes. We have no choice. The guy goes, well, you want me to snake it for $400, or do you want to just continue to have the toilet overflow? And you're like, yeah. Dude, you got me.
And it is intimidating now because, like I was telling you guys earlier, like I work on a computer, it's like our generations, our forefathers we're just like, what do you do? You sit, I was like, I have Zoom calls all day. Like, digital strategy. What is that? Like, can you fix a car? Not really. Can you can't do anything manly. So
having kids alone is crazy expensive. There was a whole thing about the fact that nobody can. The math of the down payment on a house nowadays is insurmountable. You can't. In the old days, the house was $100,000. If you made such and such, it was like, the down payment would be half your annual salary. Instead of $50,000, you'd have to put up, the $20,000. So you could save that in a few years. Nowadays, you need a couple $100,000 to put down on a house. In LA, you couldn't buy anything for that, and so nobody can do that. And so once you have kids, it's like that's why everyone's complaining that it takes both parents working to make enough money to raise kids in this world, and it's kind of crazy. And I can't even imagine. Every time I talk to a friend who has a child who has the extra issues that are super expensive, which I can only imagine. I can't even the troubles that come with autism and trying to make sure this child's taken care of and go through all these doctors. And we just went to an eye doctor that was hundreds of dollars for glasses and contacts for an autistic child. I can't even imagine what it would be for like speech therapy and all these things. And are they covered under insurance? And
Yeah, we did. Boy, I'm so proud of paying it off. But yeah, we went for about a year and a half without insurance for some of his treatments. So, just occupational physical therapy. And this was years ago. I mean, it's just exponential.
Yeah.
But, you're talking, tens of thousands of dollars in medical bills. And we've went to, I mean, we've been through the gambit with Brian. Brian's considered, extremely severe autistic. Yeah, but it is, we've had aggression, we've had everything, we've done genetics, we've taken him to the Mayo Clinic, and they don't tell you the Mayo Clinic doesn't take insurance if you're out of state.
Really?
So, yeah. If you're in state, they take your insurance. If you're out, beautiful facility, Rochester, Minnesota, or there's one closer in Phoenix, but
right.
Yeah, they
well,
yeah,
with
that's
your
all out of
son,
pocket.
Ben, with your son, I mean, is he? I don't know how autistic is he. Is he going to be living with you for the rest of his life, or is it? Will he will?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the goal, and we're doing some stuff to get him into a facility. We're working on that, and that's a big hassle right now, and you got lawyers and all that things. But it's yeah, I mean, Brian.
I love how you subtly play that. But honestly, as parents watching, we all just heard that go. Like all we heard was, "That's a lot of money." He just said, "We don't worry, we got lawyers and we're dealing with this thing, and we got to deal with this."
Well,
issue. We shouldn't have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's super complicated. Because there's there's a waiver program, for kids who have severe disabilities. So that's like part of Medicaid, and it gets really tricky and what they cover and what they don't cover. It comes from the Medicaid tree, but it's not
Medicaid. To say what's severe? I love when they're like, "Well, he's not that severe, so you have to pay." Like, where's the money?
Yeah. So Brian needs 24-hour around the clock, care. Last summer we had some real issues with his aggression. I mean, we had to get the police involved numerous times. I mean, I don't think they don't show up too well, but anyways, I got like all these little scars. I mean, we had, he's put holes through walls. I mean, he's put me into walls. I mean, he's a big kid. Brian, I mean, last year he was a little bit smaller, but some of the meds that he's on have put him away. But Brian's 17. He's 5'9", 235. Yeah. I mean, he can move you. Yeah. He's a big guy. And so, yeah, he needs 24-hour around the clock care,
so frustrating, man. I can't even imagine it'd be frustrating.
Yeah. So but like you guys, and I know Jason, with your kid, like you find out, it's like, look, nobody's going to do anything for your kids but you.
Well, and that's kind of what we're finding out is that and they also the other thing we're finding is that people are not terribly forthcoming with information that will help you either. And like sometimes they know, and until you like somehow by happen chance find that information about a program that exists, they won't say a word about it. It's like it's very, very frustrating because like if it were reversed, I would be the first one to say, hey, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and you can do this. And there are a lot of people who are not in that same mindset. And so it's
definitely
that's most people in any service industry where they help. I mean, I walk into places now and people go, yeah, what do you want? That's not the way to greet a customer, man. You go like even in like the dentist and they used to be so much about like, oh, hi, welcome. Can I help you? And now it's like, when I go to the dentist, you know what they do? They put the iPad up right away and take your money right out of the chute. You got to drop a down payment, apparently, to be trusted before they touch your kid's teeth. And people are kind of nice, but nobody.
That hasn't happened to me yet.
They made me sign this thing. This is what this is going to cost right out of the chute. Yeah. Before I was like, really, guys? What the? I just feel like, and I think some of it's not personal. I think in the same way that we're all dealing with these frustrations of trying to get through our day with our kids, I think everybody's dealing with it so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like the middle class has been eroded. Like we're striking now, and as an actor, I'm like, yes, against the producers, but it's not just my business; it's every business. The difference between the top and the bottom is getting insurmountable, and so people are frustrated and they're on edge. And so when you walk into the business, that person isn't deliberately being like, I don't want to help this person. They're just like, I think everyone's on their own journey of like, I'm just trying to get through this thing, man.
Well, we've always, my wife and I, we've always taken the look at you gotta develop a relationship with these folks. If it's your case manager, your doctor, I mean, therapist, whatever, you gotta develop a relationship, and we're always very friendly, very, we work our best. There's what we found is, especially when it comes with some of these issues, is a lot of times like they're not sure of the policies themselves, because the policies are whoever's putting these things together, it's very convoluted a little bit.
It's also not a clear cut. It's not a clear cut dilemma. I'm sure there's different levels, and they're trying. Sure. It's like, where on the scale does this person fit in the array of help that we can get them? I mean, dude, I can't even imagine the frustration on a day. Like, how many times have you put your fist through a wall? like on the phone with somebody, like, dude, what are you doing?
I try to stay pretty level-headed, but for sure, we've had tons of frustrations over the years. I mean, lots of setbacks. I mean, it's we just, I don't know. You got to roll with the punches. You got to kind of laugh it off a little bit, and you take the good with the bad. I've been really lucky, in my career I've worked remote for like 12 years. So pandemic was just, it was like a normal day for me. But like, so I've been very, very lucky in that. So I've been luckier than some. The other thing is like, there's just a lot of kids out there who are dealing with this, a lot of parents who are dealing with these issues all across the country. And there's, we're luckier than most. And so that's, I guess a little reassurance, but it's, man, it's just a struggle, man. You just keep going, and you have your good days and your bad days.
And so you also have another little son. Is it a son as well?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So, big age discrepancy. Ethan is 5. He's going to be 6 in September. And I joke around. So Brian's never said a word a day in his life. He just hasn't. And he communicates. We use well, it's right here. We got a little device, tablet thingy.
I've heard of that where they hit the pictures, right?
Yeah. It's so I mean, he can communicate like his needs, like food, stuff like that, the things he wants. Those are the big things. And then so Brian's never said anything, and Ethan he's never been quiet a day in his life. He's never shut up. He back talks. He's super sassy. He's just very independent. He's like a 50-year-old man, with what he knows. And it's kind of funny because I'm born in 80, classic 80s, 90s kid. And so he's like all into the same stuff I am. And he's mad because like kids on the playground don't know what Masters of the Universe are or something. I was like, well,
idiots. I don't know what to say. Those kids are.
Yeah. So, but so it's just that it's a weird, it's a real paradox. And we've been lucky. Look, we've never had any Brian and Ethan issues or anything like that, which has happened. I knew this police officer who was his son was severely autistic and had a lot of aggression, like really bad aggression. And they had to like plexiglass all their windows and stuff. And like his wife, they had a couple other kids, and like they ended up splitting their households, like still stay married, and like he stayed with his son in an apartment or like a condo. And yeah, I mean, it was literally just like barricaded. I mean, he couldn't keep the other family members couldn't be around
That's
his
crazy,
son.
man.
You know,
Like,
so
that's not hard enough, right?
yeah, and that was, you know, and those you hear those stories, and that's horrible. We haven't had that. So
Jason's sons are starting to they're chatting a little bit, aren't they, Jason?
Anthony's a lot
Yeah.
farther along than Logan is.
Sure.
You can have a mini conversation that are 1 to 2 words. I would say it would be okay. So they're 4.5.
Okay.
It would be akin to a typical 2-year-old conversation.
Gotcha.
With Anthony. Logan, I don't know if he can't or just doesn't want to. It's really hard to tell because of his personality. My wife is pretty quiet, so I don't know. We don't know, and we're still working. You know, kind of we're working with the Geisinger Medical Facility to kind of figure out what it is we're dealing with, and what is this? Why is this? What may have been where all of the who, what, why, and where, and when, we don't know yet. We just know that at 4.5, they say Anthony says about 30 words total.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, the best is you can work with your medical, and it's just you just got to keep persistent. I mean, like the speech therapy, the occupational ABA is fantastic. If you guys have that option in your area,
we are meeting with somebody next week.
AVA,
applied behavioral analysis.
Yeah.
Oh, ABA. Applied.
Yeah, ABA, and so it's great for any kid, honestly. Like it's it's like repetitive building on skills to build more skills, and you see, especially early on with kids, you see bigger breakthroughs. We fought for a long time, and we weren't able to get Brian until he was about 9ish, and then we were going like every day for years on that. That did definitely help. So
yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, listen. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing the stories and stuff, because
no worries.
We try to cover as many jokes as humanly possible, but we also try to help people, because there's a lot of people going through stuff like this, and it's always important to hear stories from other people going through it. I think it makes everyone feel a little bit better, and it's funny that you talk about options and that they aren't that forthright with like, hey, here's your options. So if anybody wants to reach out and chat with Ben, we can connect you guys and hit us here at the Parents Lounge and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always happy to. Been doing this for a while. We been helping, trying to get our story out there, or not really our story, but just any we can help any kids. That's great. So
yeah.
I know. My wife and I really appreciate it, because like there's information is out there, but it's tough to kind of cherry pick where to get good information that will help is.
Yeah,
definitely.
Super helpful. All right, we're going to let Ben go. Ben, thank you so much, and I'm going to hit you later. We'll do a little chat, but thank you. I really appreciate the chat. It's so interesting to hear other people do it. I have not a lot, but I have a handful of friends that I know that have autistic children, and I think sometimes as an outsider, you only see the positive and the sweet moments of it all, but I can only imagine the frustrations and when your son's 235 pounds and autistic, I mean, it must be super frustrating, man. I
can only speak at 4 and 30 some pounds. I have no idea how he's doing it, because I know how incredibly frustrating it is, and you want to be there and you want the best for your kids, but sometimes, I mean, it's a lot for anybody to handle, and you never spend a lot of time thinking about it unless you're in that scenario. Like, you don't spend the time thinking, this is the problems that happen with with these kind of conditions. This is what these families are dealing with. And unless you're in it, you don't think about it very often or at all.
No, I know. It's one of those things where you see a post and you're like, oh, I'm so lucky. It's like, we always think that way of, like, you see a car accident, you're like, oh, I'm not going to complain about anything else today. I dodged a bullet, and you're like, man, it's hard.
You know, I really, it's hard because I mean, my kids are such sweet kids, and I just want them to succeed and be happy. And like, even at 4, we see how other kids judge them sometimes, and it's really very heartbreaking, as a parent, to kind of maneuver this, because like we were just talking about, people don't share the information, or they don't know, just don't know. It's a slippery slope.
Also, it's like you can't get anybody on a phone anymore. Like, no one will answer a phone. You can't call anybody and go, "Hey, man, I need some help." There's no one to call. Like, no one will answer a phone anymore. So it's
the other thing is, a lot of people are just trying
to your own devices. Sorry, go ahead.
And a lot of people are only just trying to just do their job at the bare minimum and just get through. And so sometimes, especially in the cases of special needs kids, they don't want to help you because they just want to collect their paycheck and go home, which I understand. But you and I've talked about it extensively, where we battled with our kids' school a lot to make sure that they were being given a fair shake, and it is an unfortunate byproduct of this kind of thing. It's a tough road.
I know a lot of people who are like, it's so funny with customer service stuff. My wife ordered food yesterday or something, never showed up. But she got a text that said, "Hope you enjoyed your food. Arrived 10 minutes ago." And she's like, "There's no food here." So we'd waited forever. And so she finally calls the restaurant, and she goes, "They're going to make a rush order. You got to go pick it up." So I go, "Okay, well, I guess that defeats the whole purpose of the delivery." And so I go to pick it up, and she had told me, she goes, "Yeah, they're going to," I said, "Well, they're comping it, right?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, they're going to comp it." And then I show up, and the guy goes, he tells me the price. He's like $32 or whatever. And I go, my wife told me, he goes, "Oh," I go, "Well, first of all, we ordered food for the delivery. I wasn't coming out. You cost me an hour and a half of my time. Now I had to drive." Like, we had a long discussion, but you got to do it. Got to do it just
There's
right.
a way. Yeah, it's a dance.
You can't be a dick. And if you're funny and comedic and kind of, I was not to say charming, but charming in a way of like, dude, come on, man. Like, I didn't plead. I just cracked a couple jokes about something. And he's like, "You know what?" Yeah, he comped the whole thing. And I was like, and then I got his name and I said, "Hey, I want to tell you." And I talked to him about it. And I said, "Listen, man, that's the right move. We love this restaurant. We come here all the time. This was the one time this had happened." I said, "That's the right move for this corporation." But in the same way that we're striking these corporations, everyone's talking about how CEOs are held to the quarterly reports and growth and making more money and stuff. At some point, customer service is going away. But the problem is that it's so short-sighted, because I don't know about you, man, I get pissed off. I'm not going back to that restaurant.
I don't go back to that restaurant.
Now I'm going there more than I would have gone before, because they stepped up, they did the right thing, and I felt good about that experience. And at the end of the day, the customer used to be right. I don't know if they are anymore, but the customer used to be right.
We had a restaurant locally that messed up our food, and when I called, and I wasn't rude, I said, "Hey, this was not correct." They demanded that I put the food back out on the porch and that their driver would come back and get it. It's like,
that's small town America. It's pretty good, man. You used to go to a restaurant back. I'm going to be an old timey guy, but you go to the restaurant a handful of times, and finally they know you so much they go, "Hey, this one's on us." Then they had the punch cards. You had to punch 10 times to get a free sub or whatever. It's like, so it took out that human equation. We're talking, we kind of came full circle about AI and about the fact that we're getting away from human contact so much. And that is really, they've shown that happiness in life is about human connection and creating communities. And that's what really drives people's happiness. And so that's why I love our show, because we have built a little community. So like Narcolepsy and Freddie and Freddie B's here, and the whole gang. Brandon's here, Joey's here. So it was really nice. And you guys make us laugh so much. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this. And I don't know about you guys, but we keep doing this because after every week, I feel a lot better.
I feel better.
It's a parental mental health night and stuff. So next week, we're moving to Thursday night for 1 week only. We have Betsy Stover is going to be here. She's been on the show before. She does a great
Why Mommy Drinks.
Why Mommy Drinks. So my guess is we're going to have a cocktail next week. We have a website coming up. There'll be merch coming soon. We're doing a Parents Lounge. And what else do people need to know, Jason?
You can catch the Parents Lounge live, usually every Tuesday. As Jamie said, next week we're switching it up, but usually 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, live every Tuesday. We're going to have some great guests coming up. And you can catch new episodes of our podcast, the audio version, on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. We're also now on YouTube Music.
Ooh, YouTube Music. One last quote from Joey Steelers, Jeremy. I think Jeremy. Oh, he's talking to one of the other. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, one of the other guys. I also try to see the positive of life and not complain, but sometimes it's hard to appreciate the blessings we have. Couldn't agree more, Joey.
So true.
And honestly, talking to Ben and others, and, instead of the cup half empty, the cup's half full, and just be happy for what you got and be positive. So, iron keychains. Yes! Yes, they're coming. I'm going to get, you know what? I should have my daughter start making TPL perler bead keychains. So there'll be collector's items, and we'll number them, and there'll only be a select few, and each one will cost $12,000. That's it, people. For Jason, Jamie, Justin Rupple, and our pal Ben Duff coming in and chatting some stuff. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week here in the Parents Lounge.